Dreamcon 2024, Austin, Texas. A beautiful mix of black gamers, anime fans, and consumers of blurred culture.
I'm following you. See, I'm just drinking wine. All right, see what it say.
Patrick Cloud thingy. I was honored to be able to meet you today. You and All Deaf have provided so many laughs. I had to tell you again. Thank you from tough times to my highest times. You were always there. Cheers to laughs.
Wow. Check you out. He famous.
Your name's Nature. That's a cool name. Thanks, Nature.
Very cool.
Hey.
Nope. Had to do it.
These badges.
Let's go.
All Deaf content.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then I just got finished watching Lesbian.
Oh, I don't know nothing about nothing. So what are y'all dressed as?
I'm White from Death Note.
Death Note. Okay. Ah, you guys look so good. Founded by the hilarious group of creators known as RDC World, Dreamcon is known throughout the community as one of the most promising new conventions where people can truly be themselves, but also meet their favorite content creators in person.
With a full schedule of meet and greets, panels, gaming tournaments, sporting events, and parties, this was definitely a unique experience compared to the other cons I've attended.
Security out here going to the back, okay?
This was our first time, although I've been told every year that I had to be there. I could never get tickets in time, but this year I was invited out by YouTube to do a panel hosted by Culture Genesis.
As soon as we got there to get our badges, it was nothing but love. We were overwhelmed with how many people were familiar with our work, even grown up watching us. It made us feel kind of old. The cosplay was beautiful and the energy unmatched. This was definitely a crowd that looked more like us than the usual cons. It was blackety black and I loved it.
You gotta keep that thing going.
Yeah. This is a line to take pictures with Patrick.
We made our way into the exhibit hall where they had rows and rows of talented artists showcasing and selling their work. We met up with our friends Max the Slayer and Miss Game Queen. Check out the Lethal Company cosplay. We had to do the emotes. We walked around to check out the booths, but we really couldn't go very far. The fans were showing so much love, we had to stop and talk to everybody.
get a picture with you. Can I get a picture?
The emotes. Eventually, we made it over to my good friend Cleo Thomas's booth. I can't even imagine how crazy this must have been during his meet and greet hours.
His new collective, 4 controllers featuring the all-talented Thomas siblings, were selling merch there, so we got to see all of our people. Make sure you check out their Dreamcon recaps as well. Pat got a line. Chat and draw. Yes. All right.
When you networking and planning your collabs, bro, like please have an idea of what you want to do. Because if you hit somebody up and you're like, we should play something, what if that person is interested? And you're like, okay, what should we play? And you don't got no idea what you want to do, and you just kind of stuck and wasting time.
We got escorted backstage to a full music concert in the main hall. I'm telling you, this con had a lot going on at all times.
We were starving, so we walked across the street from the convention center to the Moonshine Grill. This was the home of the corn dog shrimp, a unique appetizer with shrimp on a stick covered in corn dog batter and served with a blueberry swirl dipping sauce. I never had anything like it.
Blueberry and shrimp go together.
That fruit shrimp.
Pretty good. I don't know why.
Brisket, burnt ends, quesadilla. Brussels sprouts. Definitely.
Okay, I was like, that would be fun.
Say what up, Max. Yeah.
That was fire.
Yeah. What? Was that a horse sound?
Although we were sore and tired, we were invited to a Dreamcon party that took place at the attached hotel. We had no idea how massive it would be. Everybody pulled up and we had a time. The next day, we headed back to the convention center and got escorted by the friendly staff to the YouTube lounge. This was an exclusive area for content creators to network and listen to special panels hosted by YouTube.
You look like a baked potato. Baked potato.
Burnt potatoes. Pat was on a panel about content monetization with fellow creators Kev on Stage, King Vader, Cleo Thomas, A. Christine, and the All Deaf CEO Cedric Rogers.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm Cedric Rogers. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Culture Genesis. We're the largest Black-owned digital video network on YouTube. We actually have a bunch of creators on our network, over 100. Some of the ones you may know would be someone like Kai Sanat, AMP, I Show Speed. And so what we're doing is actually helping creators make more money without having to do anything different. You usually see about a 30 to 40% increase in money. I wanted to work with YouTube today to actually bring everyone together and get some of the pros who are really doing a great job, not just on YouTube, but on all platforms. I want to kind of start introducing these guests one by one. Oh, I should also make sure you know that Culture Genesis owns and operates All Deaf Digital. How many of y'all know All Deaf? All right. So I'm gonna start with that. Let me start with one person, Patrick Cloud. So Pat is the creative director of All Deaf, and also, as you guys know, he makes his own content as well. Now, since we're talking about former All Deaf, and now this is the king of making money on all digital platforms, Kev on Stage. Cleo, as you know, has done everything under the sun at being on All Deaf in the past. So we're gonna have him come talk about what he's doing. Come on, Christine. As you know, she's a wonderful gamer, doing a lot herself, her bears and all the things we're gonna talk about shortly. And then last but definitely not least, King Vader. So we're gonna hop right into it.
For me, it's mainly always been about ideation. I'm mostly behind the scenes than I am on camera, so it's really about just making IPs for brands, but also my own page, which is music, comedy, and gaming. So really just getting more IPs out there.
So yeah, I do content creation, directing, acting, producing, and I also game. So yeah.
I do basically a whole bunch of short form reaction to whatever's happening on the internet, podcasts, and then I have Patreon is where I do a lot of my higher end content. We're about to start rolling out.
Audiences grow. Like a lot of times I'll see people be like, oh, you were my childhood, and they grow and they change. And so kind of growing and changing with my audience at the same time. So it's a lot of not letting the things that are difficult stop me from doing what I want to do.
Same on my end, getting a chance to grow my audience, stepping on the scene over 21 years ago in the film world with Holes, and here we are, years later, and it still gets a chance to resonate with a different demographic. The book's still a required reading book, and then the kids get a chance to watch the movie right afterwards. But we live in an age now with technology, so these kids are seeing something that they're instantly attached to, and then getting a chance to run right to social media, the YouTubes, and see my page and see all of the gaming aspects. So constantly, she said, changing with the times and keeping everything fresh.
I would say for me, it's always been quality and quantity, just because month to month, you never really know it's all performance-based, so you never really know. It's not like a consistent YouTube check, a consistent TikTok. It's just like the money changes all the time. So for me, I kind of just put a lot into all of my interests, which is YouTube, TikTok and Instagram are paying now, Twitch, and I kind of just try to make a bunch of quality content for all of that so that it all just turns into, even if it fluctuates, it all turns into something big,
None of these platforms guarantee what your income's gonna be. I remember when Logan Paul had that Suicide Forest thing, and everybody on YouTube lost ad money for like a year. Nobody else did that, but everybody else was punished because of the adpocalypse. I don't know if y'all remember that. My approach is to get people into my personal funnel. It's something I can control.
Like how you all approaching merch or activations or comedy shows or whatever they may be leading people to through your funnel. Okay.
Yeah, for me, I kind of think of myself like a musician. Like a lot of artists don't make a lot of money on the physical sales of music. It's like streaming and YouTube. But then people come to their shows, they make more money off of that, or they buy merch. So
it's a little bit different just because my focus is behind the scenes. I don't really think of it as merch. I don't have like shirts that say like Patrick Cloud or my face on it. I have a brand called Protect Your Light, and my focus is more like design. So my approach to merch is not really, you don't really know it's by me unless you recognize the symbol, like the little cloud or anything. So because of that, I kind of just market it a little bit differently. I'll think of like, wearing it in podcasts or videos, that follow certain trends to kind of get people that not only are, in my fan base, but people that are just like, oh, that's a cool shirt. I don't think it's attached to any type of creator. I just like that shirt or those shorts or whatever. I try to do the traditional thing because at one point I wanted to be like a spin-off that's a designer brand, but also, a streetwear brand, so I don't outprice my followers too. The key things are like consistency, workflow, and you have to like what you're doing. I think that's the one thing that we all have in common up here is that we make content that we really, really like doing, and I see content creators that kind of go after what's popular, but they don't really like it, and then they fall off of that. And, I've been a part of productions and seen productions where it's like they commit to like daily, weekly stuff, and they gotta like set up everything and do all of this stuff, and then, a month down the line, it kind of, it tapers off. But then if you kind of like perfect the workflow of it, even like, Persephone's out there, that's my co-host for one of my podcasts.
Hey, Persephone.
Hi, Persephone. We spend a lot of time finding a podcast studio that you go there, you shoot, they do the camera angles, the audio mixing, they send it to us, we just get the logo on it and it's posted. And that easy workflow lets us stay consistent, because if we had to do all of that, it would be pretty tough juggling that and committing to a weekly format and also doing all the stuff that we try to do. So if you want to really make money, you have to kind of like lock in. But you have to help yourself lock in by liking it and keeping that workflow easy for you.
one thing I don't think anybody said, but my truth was I also worked a regular job for a long time while I did this. I have a wife and 2 kids. Shout out to you, baby girl. I think a lot of times creators are so quick to want to quit their job. A good month or 2 is great, but a lot of this money is sporadic. I've had great brand deal years, and in the next year, like no brand deals. Keep your job until you cannot keep it, and also spend like you're having your bad months. If you're spending upkeeps to what you're having with your great months, when the bottom falls out, you're down. So one thing that's helped me is my wife and I keep our cost of living down. Listen, working with All Def, a lot of times you see people up for years, and then like when YouTube decided you can't do prank videos and you can't put butts in the thumbnails, people's income went from like 40 grand a month to like $200 a month. So keep your regular job, health insurance for as long as you possibly can. 'Cause I was making videos at Boeing on my break. I would go into a conference room. I would make it seem like I wasn't there. I'd go in my car and make videos. I worked at All Def full time, was on tour on the weekends. Because I had healthcare, I got kids, all that type of stuff. So I think people are like, quit your job, quit your job. Don't quit your job, don't quit your job.
I would double down on what Kev was saying, because when I started, me and my husband, we both had our full-time jobs. We'd come home, record on the PS4. That could only stay 15 minutes at a time. Had to cut that up, play for an hour, stop, do it again, and then save and edit, and then go to work the next day. We eventually quit when we were making more from YouTube than we were from our day job, because then we're like, okay, we'll be good.
For me, investing back into the business and the brand that is you. As you're building yourself up with this content creation space, you want to be able to offload some of that work. So that means hiring a team to be able to take care of the editing for you while you're already working on the next week of ideas. You have someone already clipping, editing, putting the subtitles, doing the graphics. But that moment you get that first big check from your content and your monetization, don't run off and just go spend that or keep that to you. Invest that back into the business that is you, so that way it can be an easier process and the weight is off your shoulders as you move and build forward.
Move the focus away from the money and just focus on like building a community, making your content as good as possible, you know, clipping it and sharing it to different platforms like TikTok and Instagram in the format that's native to those platforms, and just really like building. The money will come, you know. You don't want to do it as a money grab. That's like, you know, if you're late on rent, you're like, I'm gonna drop a mixtape. That's not how it works. That's also a very long process. So I think it's really just about focusing and making it like, okay, if this works, I'm gonna be doing this for the rest of my life.
To double down on what both of them said, do what you love and the money will come 100%. Till this day, I'm still chasing my dream every single day. Through the ups and the downs, definitely grateful that I chose this path versus doing something that, you know, oh, okay, this is gonna make me money and I'm gonna just chase after that. But instead, it's like I followed my heart, not knowing that the money was gonna flow in like it would.
I stole this from Pat. He actually said this to me one time. Be aggressively genuine. I think everything that makes you unique is what's gonna separate you from everybody else. Like, if I try to make a Mr. Beast video, it would be very obvious that I'm doing Mr. Beast. But you can use concepts that he uses. Like, he makes very efficient videos for YouTube, but his personality is his personality. So I'm a church kid, I'm a dad, I'm 270, you know, so I always approach things from the way I see the world. I'm 270, and I'm hot under this thing. I'm never cosplaying again because I've been hot for 2 days straight, and I didn't realize how heavy this was, and I didn't factor in being in Austin. What makes you you is what separates you from everybody else. Pat's a beautiful woman, so he focuses on that all the time.
Well, I want to.
He's gonna do a whole thing and be professional. Actually, somebody commented something 2 days ago, and I haven't been able to get it out of my head. I was sweating in a video. He was like, "Kev, that's too much salt in this diet." And I was like, "Nigga, it was like 1,000 degrees in there." I was shit in the hospital this week, and I had a suit on and a doctor's coat, and the AC was broke. Like, you don't even know the circumstances. But I literally was in the shower like. Ugh. But what I've been doing lately, before I respond to a negative comment, I tell myself respond to 10 positive comments first. And usually by that time, I don't have the energy anymore. Because a lot of times I think just like you see 1,000 positive comments and you see 3 trolls or idiots and your mind is drawn to those. So I try to redirect that energy to people who showed me love. And I try to do that because usually by the 10th person, I'll be like, bye. Or I just delete the comments quickly before I can get frustrated. And then I've been blocking people a lot. I used to not give, I'm not gonna give you the power. Nah, I am. I'm gonna block you. I don't want to ever see you say anything else to me ever again. Like, you thought you were funny. I block people who comment about me on other people's stuff. Like, you make a joke and I'm not feeling it, I'll block you before you get a chance to make another one.
I think I said this yesterday. You're not gonna be everyone's cup of tea because some people don't even like tea. You know what I'm saying? So like at the end of the day, it's about finding your people. You know, finding the people that you want to bring into your community and not focusing on the negative.
After the panel, I got to talk to a bunch of creators and did a few interviews. Everybody was so cool.
What it is, it's your boy, C Breezy, and your boy, Big Bro. You may have seen his designs, you may have seen his game and shit, you may have seen some definitely.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, all the way from Georgia out there.
What up? Big cat. Black spades. What you know about that? Hey!
We went to the gaming hall, where Steph met up with her lesbian homie co-star, Exactly E, who was wearing a fire cosplay of Storm.
Her following me out of the state.
After taking pics with some more supporters, we realized we were late to the comedy show hosted by Kev on Stage. We got to see our friend Roxy Hayes rip the stage up with anime jokes. Just look at the crowd.
That defense he saw, because they're always like, but no, he's attracted to power. Okay, that's why Orochimaru was mad. He's like, I'm gonna join. No.
Listen, this is amazing, man. This is my first con, like I was saying. Somebody DM'd me, was like, Ken, watch out, man. Them girls might be after you. You don't know me at all. I've been happily married for 20 years. People always ask me, like, Ken, what's your secret? You never get worried about cheating? No. I don't have a cheat on you body. No, listen, I don't have, no. Nobody knew want to see this. Nobody knew.
My number one bestseller. Wow. An original art piece by me. Find it on Amazon right now. Actually, so it's not on Amazon anymore.
What do you think about all the cosplay you're seeing? Oh my god, it's so cool. I'm having like FOMO. Who would you be? Kitana. I probably would have done that one again. Oh, fire. Yeah, next year, for sure.
After a hilarious show, we went to the green room to relax and chop it up with the other talent at the venue that day.
Baby knife.
Tito you up. That's wild.
He's talented. He made this.
That is crazy.
We got a chance to watch a little bit of the celebrity basketball game, which had Mark Phillips and Duke Dennis as the head coaches.
The next day, we pulled up to the convention center and headed straight for the gaming hall. Gaming is my main passion, and with all the running around we were doing, I didn't get to spend nearly enough time here. So we walked around watching all the hardcore gamers fighting it out in the qualifying and exhibition matches. We pulled up to the Nintendo booth, which was also run by amazing supporters of our content.
They gave us free points on our Nintendo Switches, which was awesome. A crowd of even more supporters began to form, so the Nintendo staff was nice enough to let us use their official photo setup for everyone that wanted pictures of us. It was like an unofficial meet and greet at the Nintendo activation. So cool.
We with Nintendo now. I just got signed to Mario. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, this is low-key the best one.
Stun on him though.
I got 3 riddles for you, all right? All right, so first riddle is, I hail from the stars with a tale of great power, raised on earth and mountains where I flower, with hair that can glow with the sun's bright hue. Who am I, this hero? Tell me, do you have a clue?
Goku.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Goku. Ding, ding, ding.
Hail Mary. Hey. Right, win it.
After we took pictures with everyone, we went into incognito mode and joined the massive crowd watching the DBZ tournament. We were still spotted though.
The tournament was intense. Getting beat up in DBZ Fighter is a wild experience. We witnessed an 105 hit combo. Oh my God, I would break my controller.
One of the DBZ champs right here.
I just get fly, you feel me?
Congrats to all the winners. We wish we got to see more tournaments this weekend.
First place right here, legendary. Hey, there it is.
Unfortunately, Dreamcon was coming to an end, so we headed to the closing ceremony in the main hall.
We got to see just how many people attended this event over the weekend at once. It was massive. Huge shout out to RDC World for building this.
Final day
I'm about to cry.
of Dreamcon 2024. Can we make some noise for that very quickly?
My favorite part is walking around. Like, you see so many of your cousins out here, you be like, hey, cousin!
I have to ask, what are you guys most proud of as far as the growth of Dreamcon this year?
Bring them up here, bring them up here.
You want to say anything, man? Tell us how your experience at Dreamcon was, bro.
This experience has been second to none, honestly. Woo! Being a cosplayer from London, coming out here is a whole experience.
Yes, HBIC, okay? That part.
After an epic closing, we headed back to the hotel to recharge. But the day wasn't over. That night, we headed over to Trap Sushi, the official Dreamcon afterparty. We met up with our friends and got one final opportunity to connect with fans and fellow creators. Dreamcon was one of the dopest events we ever experienced as content creators.
You know it ain't a blurred party if no one breaks out the video games. A whole Mortal Kombat tournament broke out and Cleo started cleaning people up as usual.
Hey, Steph, you got this. Oh my gosh. Oh, the abuse. Oh, the abuse. Plug your controller in. Block something.
We acted as support and nothing more. There was a surprise appearance by one of the best Mortal Kombat players in the world, Infinity. She knocked Cleo's head off. put this many people of color together to enjoy and celebrate the things we love without judgment is truly special.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep your bags packed. All right, guys, so that was We Trippin' Dreamcon.
Dreamcon.
What an event.
Oh my God.
So dope.
It was.
It was a really, it's a really cool thing. Shout out to the RDC World guys. They really built something beautiful.
Man, RDC, those are my guys. I feel like those are like my
very dope.
brothers. We're friends of RDC, and I just want to thank them for having us out there. Like, first off, I haven't really gone to cons like that.
Sure.
In the past.
Right.
So for this one kind of being my first one, I was just like, this was insane.
Yeah.
The people were just awesome people.
Very cool.
Like it was full of just like amazing energy.
Yeah.
I love me some blurs.
It's an amazing curation of a certain type of blurred too, which is great. You know, I go to cons a lot. You know, I'll go to like gaming cons, anime cons, comic cons, and I feel like, you know, especially living in LA, a lot of times when there's like a interesting con in town, you see people walking around in cosplay, but it's never this black, you know, like this is like the blackest event. People in full My Hero Academia cosplay bumping Young Nudie out of a speaker. Or like, you know, your friend E was dressed as Storm at a spades table. Like it was such a beautiful union of blurred and just, it was just
they
so
had
black.
a whole card room for card games.
Yeah.
You know, so
there was so much to do, and a lot of times cons are very one note for me. You know, like there'll be like a con where there's one main thing to do, and once you've seen that, it's kind of nothing else to do.
Right.
This had a gaming hall. It had, you know, stuff for the anime fans. It had sports events. There was a bunch of parties going on afterwards.
There was just an array of things. A comedy show.
Yeah, right.
Shout
out to all the comedians in the comedy show. That was a really, really fun time. We got there late, but you know, everything was so back to back. It was almost impossible to do everything.
Right.
And you know, we'll get into it later, but I am envious of all these young people who were able to do all that stuff and not be dead afterwards.
Oh my God.
Because walking around like that and then going to a party afterwards was just not in our cards.
But we did it a couple times.
Yeah.
We did it a couple times and realized why it was difficult for us to do it. Like
For sure.
It was such a good time though. It made you want to be back out there with people.
No, for real.
You know?
And something beautiful that I noticed was we were talking to staff, people who lived in Austin, and this was originally supposed to be We Trip in Austin, but apparently Dreamcon changes the city. You know, they're basically saying this is like the most black people there is in Austin all year. So we decided to make a focus on Dreamcon because number one, we were just like so wrapped up in how many events there was. We didn't really get a chance to go out and see Austin that much. And from what I've seen from the food and the downtown area, I would love to go back. So we might do a We Trip in Austin where we can show what it's like on a normal weekend, but this, like, RDC brought these people out, so we wanted to just do basically a vlog about Dreamcon, but also just a fan appreciation We Trippin', because they really showed up.
The fans
showed
were
so
just
much
so
love.
excited and so supportive, and these were real fans too, because I mean, super duper supporters. When I tell you, they could tell me a certain scene out of the Lesbian Homie, the show that I played in, that was just monumental for them, or you know, they was calling me by my character name. They brought up Thick Threads, and they even brought up We Trippin', you know, so it makes you feel like, okay, this is what we did it for.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
That's how I was feeling the entire time. It's like, you know, these giant groups of people who you've affected in a positive way, and just to show that love back by, you know, just hanging out with them, taking pictures with them. It was a beautiful experience.
It was.
I wasn't a huge fan of using security escorts, you
Right.
know, because it did feel like, you know, I don't want
Pat
any
is so
scenario.
sweet. He's just like, I want to say, I want to talk to everyone. But I mean, there were time constraints.
We had to go
You had a panel you had to be on, and boy, trying to get him to that panel through the crowd, we were literally crowd surfing.
I feel like we're definitely fans now. We'll be back next year
For sure.
Cleo has been asking us to go for years.
Really?
Yes, he went I think 3 years ago just to go. Then the second year he showed up as Powerline and beat the Mortal Kombat tournament, and now he was like hosting everything this year. It was just very, very cool to finally see what he's been talking about this whole time.
Yeah, and it was just so big. I mean, the stages.
Oh yeah.
The stages. Every event that they put on was like it was seriously a professional event. For us, at least, it was pretty organized. A lot of times when you have big events like that, I've been to big events where the organization was
Awful.
a travesty.
Right, but the staff really put it together.
That Southern hospitality was in full effect.
Everybody was
there.
so nice.
Everybody was so
Even
nice.
the security,
so
usually
sweet.
security be a little bit mean, but shout out to legendary security.
Their memory is impeccable. They remembered us and made sure whenever they saw us around, like, hey, are you good? You know, do you need anything? The staff that worked there were very sweet and made sure, like, okay, you need to be here. You need to be here. Let me make sure that you can get there in these places with no problems.
Right.
It was just a very, very cool thing to see.
Big shout out to RDC. I know their hands were full that entire weekend, but they
Right.
still were putting us on VIP lists, making sure that we got into places. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so since this episode is more focused on Dreamcon, what was your favorite moment and what was your favorite event?
So my favorite moment just had to do with talking to the supporters. Honestly, like,
Was there a specific moment that stood out?
a specific, yes. And I talked about this on Damn Internet You Scary. One of the security guards was just, he was like, I followed the lesbian homie, you know, you're Reese, blah, 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 you know, the whole series, like, I keep up with it or whatever. And when he walked away, he was like, whoa! And I was just like, oh my God, that was just so cool to see somebody be excited about your work.
Sure.
Because when you do a video and you put it online, yes, you get comments, yes, you get views, and that's one layer. It's
Right.
like, oh, okay, people really see what you do, but it comes full circle when you actually meet those people in person.
Absolutely.
And they're excited and they show you, like, okay, what you're doing is not just looked at as just posting a video online.
Right.
It's like, you helped me get through this, you helped me get through that. What you're doing is bringing happiness in some form to other people.
Right.
And that, for me, just that scream in the end was just like, oh my God, that was so cool.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that was kind of my favorite moment with the fans. And then there were other moments that really stood out.
That was
could go
definitely
on
your
all day.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I heard you bring that up a couple times. I feel like that was
I could
very,
go on
very
all day.
special to you. What about your favorite, like, official event of the weekend?
I would say the basketball game. You know, I love basketball.
Yeah.
I actually felt like I was at, you know, a professional game. And I'm just like, this is insane how, you know, they've really developed this entire con to just like be super well put together. Everything was just amazing. And I love me some basketball.
For
So
real.
there was some bricks up there. Yeah, some people was bricking.
It was bricking.
But all in all, I just enjoyed the energy. Seeing Mark dressed like a coach.
with
for
the hands
real.
on the hip.
With the hands on the hips and little tan khaki colored pants, little collared shirt. He's just hilarious in himself. So just seeing
Right.
that, I was just like, wow, this is crazy. But it was live. It was lit. You know,
everything they did that weekend was absolutely packed. You needed to do RSVPs, even if you got the badge, you had to RSVP on top of that.
Right.
And so everything was filled up. So we were actually lucky ourselves to get in some of these
sure
things.
were.
My favorite moment was very unexpected. I'm definitely not the type to set up a meet and greet. I don't feel like I'm that type of influencer to just kind of like have a booth like, yo, who knows who I am, you know? But I thought that it was really cool in the gaming hall when we went to the Nintendo booth. And we were basically like trying to get points for our Switch. You know, we were just doing what that Nintendo booth was there
Right.
for. But there was such a giant crowd appeared to take pictures with us, we kind of did like an informal meet and greet.
It was.
Because they had professional lighting, they had a backdrop, so they were just like, yo, we want people to take pictures here. So we just kind of like funneled everybody through that. And it was Nintendo, so that was dope too.
It was a long line to take a picture. Specifically, he's being humble. Specifically with you,
us.
They definitely, there was a lot of people that showed up that knew who I was and did want to take pictures with me as well. But I will say I ended up taking a lot of pictures of people that wanted pictures with you. And I was talking to the Nintendo, the reps, and they were just like, please keep it going. How can I help? You know?
Because we thought we were like messing what they were doing up.
Right.
And they were like,
but
no,
they're
come
like,
on.
no, funnel people to us. So they
Yeah.
wanted people to come there, and you know, when they saw you taking pictures with other people, it made everybody feel comfortable. So multiple lines formed, and even when the line dissipated because you took all the pictures, as soon as if we stood there and talked to 2 or 3 minutes, another line formed to take more pictures.
And that was really cool for me, because a lot of the other places where we were just kind of like talking to fans and taking pictures, I felt like we were kind of blocking. Like when we were in the exhibit hall, there was people that were trying to sell stuff, and we were kind of like blocking so that people couldn't walk through. We were kind of like blocking so that people couldn't buy. So I thought it was just cool to kind of like integrate and legitly interact with the fans and stuff like that.
You ended up having a line at a booth that was meant for other people.
Yeah.
Or we were
I
just
think
trying
it
to
was
wait
just...
to the side. So it was just like, you know, we were just trying to get out of the way and just kind of wait to the side, talk to our friends. But it just shows you how much people like really appreciate what you do, and the fact that you don't feel like you're that type of influencer that should have a meet and greet is insane.
Well, I mean, I just wouldn't want to. That doesn't mean I don't want to meet them. I just think that setting isn't really me, you know. But that was a big part of doing a We Trippin' specifically for Dreamcon, was not only to show our experience there, but just as a thank you to the fans, because we filmed almost every fan interaction, and we were just like, man, let's just compile all you know,
gonna see
into
yourself. You seen yourself in there, and if you didn't,
for sure.
Look,
we tried.
We either we tried, or we gonna get to you next year if you come,
for real.
because we definitely are coming back next year, because that was just too much fun.
For sure. I would say my favorite event had to be the YouTube panel. I think that you know, going to these things is always great, but having like a work reason to go is always like better for me. You know, I always like waiting until there's like an official reason to go, especially since I can't get tickets to these things. These things be selling out so quick. But the fact that YouTube brought us out there, and you know, my panel was about content monetization, just knowing that there's that many upcoming creators that either, you know, look up to you for what you did, you know, with your work, or just think you have something to offer and something to tell them. So I think that, you know, doing these things, you're always wondering like, damn, I didn't really promote this. Are people even going to be there? You know, but I think that number one, for it being a YouTube lounge that had exclusive wristbands, and then there was like giants on there like King Vader and Kev on Stage, Cleo, A Christine. I think that, you know, just how many people showed up and were actually interested in not just like, you know, me like, hey, take a picture of me because of my work, but it's also like, you know, what can you tell me to make money off of my content? What can you tell me to be a better creator? Just like tips for the next generation it was just very dope.
It was
very dope experience.
It was nice to see you in that capacity too.
Yep.
You know, we've been on stage. I've seen you on stage before. I've been on stage with you before, and it's a really cool atmosphere and environment, and to just, you know, to pick your brain and see like, hey, how can you help out the people? Because it's always about giving back. And so when you can give back in the form of just sharing knowledge, that in itself is enough. You know, so it was really cool. The journey to get you there was an interesting one. To get you to the YouTube lounge was in and of itself one of the things that you talk about on the panel, you know, because it's just, people just want to know what they can do to be successful. Just everybody's doing their thing. It's just Black success everywhere.
Black excellence. Okay, so we definitely, you know, if you've been following We Trippin', you'll notice that we didn't eat nearly as much as usual, and that's because we wanted to keep the vlog about Dreamcon. And we actually took out a lot of the meals that we did, because we're doing a little spin-off called We Eatin' on our Patreon, so make sure you guys subscribe to that. But you know, we gotta address the food in some capacity. We went to the Moonshine Grill. Shout out to Max the Slayer and GQ.
Yeah.
We had like a little group meal. And just to touch on food real quick, they had the corn dog shrimp with a blueberry swirl sauce. That was so random, but so good. That was tasty.
Really good.
Right across the street from the convention center too.
And instead of like, you know how you go places, they either give you like bread with olive oil and vinegar, or you get chips and salsa, or, you know, bread and butter. They gave you popcorn.
I don't like popcorn.
I love popcorn.
Not a fan of popcorn.
I'm a fan.
It's one of those things that
popcorn.
the smell is better than the actual taste. You smell it and you're like, then you eat some and you're like, I got a whole bowl of this to finish. Yuck.
I love me some popcorn. So it was cool, something different, as that being your unofficial appetizer, you know.
But I just couldn't get over the fact that shrimp even matches with blueberry. Like, that sounds awful.
Right?
But it was really good.
And the crazy, it tasted better with the sauce.
Yeah.
To me. So I'm a fan of like plain glizzies, plain
corn dogs.
Corn dogs.
Gotta
like,
have mustard.
No, so I don't have to have anything on mine. But with this shrimp corn dog, it was just shrimp dipped in corn dog batter and then just fried like a corn dog.
And for some reason, they paired it with blueberry, and it worked. So that was definitely the standout food on this trip. And, you know, honestly, Skin Tuition, we don't even have to go over that. It was our people. You know, everybody there. There was no problems. It was just black and beautiful. So let's go right into the travel hacks. What travel hack, specifically to Dreamcon or any cons, do you have?
Man, you better get you a massage gun. Get you a massage gun, because your feet are going to be toe up.
We were feeling real elderly.
Oh my God. You definitely need to make sure you take care of your feet. I can't tell you how many times we ran into people and talked to people and they mentioned how bad their feet were hurting. Because you're out all day. You're walking around all day. Of course, there's places where you can sit and just chill out, you know, but do you really want to do that when there's so much good stuff to do? No.
Right.
So all in all, you have to make sure you take care of your feet, because if you don't take care of your feet, you're going to end up missing out on a whole bunch of other stuff.
So real quick, my travel hack has to do with not only like, you know, the hygiene of going to these cons, but also just making it easier on yourself. A lot of these places can get really hot. Austin is very hot. Sometimes the cons just have a lot of people in it. And, you know, I basically had to bring like some deodorant and some wipes in my little bag. So if there's ever a moment in time, because we don't want to take pictures with nobody where I felt a little musty, you know, I didn't want that to happen. So, you know, you just go to the green room or the bathroom, hit yourself a few times. One thing that was great for us was booking a hotel that was right across the street from the con.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people were kind of like commuting to the con, but it was just so easy for us when we felt like, you know, we needed a shower or just to rest our legs. We can just walk across the street, do what we needed to do, and then pop right back in. So I think it's nothing to just, you know, bring a deodorant stick.
Yeah, yeah, a little hygiene bag.
Them cosplay is getting hot.
Because they have like the little travel packs of just individual wipes. That's such a great hack. I mean, you can go to the bathroom and you know, do a quick bird bath or whatever you want to do.
Whole bath.
But at the same time, having a hotel right there was that made the difference for us. You know, just being able to, because you do have to sometimes take a little break, like a midday break.
Yeah,
you know,
we definitely need. Some people didn't, but we definitely needed them breaks. But huge shout out to RDC World. Yay. Huge shout out to everybody who came out that we got to meet face to face. If you were there and we didn't get a chance to meet you,
shout out to Desmond. Desmond really hooked us up.
Yeah,
Ben,
everybody was being great. Everybody was really, really helping us out. The staff, the security, and most of all, the people who have been watching our content, either new or for all of these years. But this has been a mini episode, a Dreamcon episode of We Trippin'. I've been Patrick Cloud.
And I'm Persephone.
Keep your bags packed. We'll see you next time.